Back again. Um, just want to share some thoughts. Um, it's been about 60 days since Danny has left us, and it's definitely been the hardest time in my life on so many levels. Um, to know that your sister didn't want to be here anymore, even though she had a brother who loved her, mother who loved her, aunts, uncles, cousins, the best friends in the world who loved her. But she still didn't want to be here anymore, and so she left. And at this point, the only thing that I can do is respect that. It's the only thing that I can do is respect that and have compassion for her in the place that she found herself in that moment where she made the final decision. But today, I want to talk about not just suicide, but like the slow suicide. The slow suicide that we all, every day, participate in. Each and every one of us is dying every day. Meaning that each and every day we're one day closer to meeting our Maker. And the decisions that we make now, today, tomorrow, next week, they either prolong our life or they cut our life short. So, what about the slow suicide? We live in a culture where there's advertisement everywhere. Advertisement for alcohol, for cigarettes, for vaping, for fried chicken, for overindulgence in anything and everything that these advertisers want us to participate in. And we sometimes look at, and I don't want to say we sometimes, those of us who have experienced an immediate suicide, we ask what happened, what were they thinking, what was going on in their mind, how could they do such a thing? And those are real, genuine, and honest questions. But then I also think about, like, my son and how I would love to be around when he's 70 and I'm 90 something. And then I think about the decisions that I make each and every day that are going to either allow that to happen or prevent that from happening. And the truth is that you can have an immediate suicide or you can have a slow suicide. I know that sounds crazy, but listen to me. All of us know that there is a prescription for healthy living. At least that's what society would tell us. We know that eating fried foods are bad. We know that drinking and smoking and drugs and heroin and methamphetamines and all of these illicit drugs are paths to an early demise. But what about our day-to-day activities? What about our day-to-day activities? Our day-to-day activities have everything to do with if we're going to be here for a long time or a short time. Each of us has a struggle. Whatever your struggle is, I would say to give attention to that, because that struggle can, not will, but can lead to an early demise. So, do you know that you may need to lose a couple of pounds? Do you know that you may need to stop shopping as a form of compensation to alleviate your stress that the shopping won't do? Do you participate in behavior? And when I say do you, I should say do we? Do we participate in behavior that's simply meant to self-medicate us so that we can make it through the next day? Life is hard. Life is a challenge. Life is a beast. Life is something that if I had an opportunity to talk to God before I got here, I probably would tell him, Lord, probably I don't want to go through that experience. But what about the slow suicide? What about not taking care of ourselves? What about if you need counseling and you don't get counseling and the stress leads to hypertension, which 5 years down the road leads to a heart attack? What if you have a family situation where you need to do something to resolve that, and because you didn't resolve that, that led to a certain level of stress and anxiety that raised your blood pressure, that changed the physical dynamic of everything that's going on inside of you, and it led to an early death. So I definitely would say that suicide is absolutely a horrible thing, and it's absolutely something that will change those that are left behind in definite and profound ways. But I also will say that the way that we take care of ourselves on a day-to-day basis, when we know that we need to be doing better and we don't do it, can also lead to an early demise. So, as I say this to you, I say this to myself. Let's take care of ourselves and each other. I know most of us aren't just going to wake up tomorrow morning and check out. But the truth of the matter is that if we continue to live in unhealthy behaviors, unhealthy habits, unhealthy ways of day-to-day living, that it could be possible that we could be leading ourselves to a slow suicide, because each and every one of us knows that there are things that we are doing in our lives that we need to change. And if we don't change those things can lead to stress, they could lead to heart disease, they could lead to high blood pressure, they could lead to a myriad of things. But I would almost equate those things to slow suicides, because we have an opportunity to make better decisions in our day-to-day living so that we could be around for our loved ones. Take care of yourself and take care of each other. I hope you have a great evening.